I want to go over, because I think that a lot of people that are coming from just graduating high school, coming from 9 to 5, coming from all the different, background professionals into
Mhm.
sales, everyone has their own little journey reframing their mindset, whether it comes to like money blocks, time blocks,
Mhm.
limiting beliefs, what they have, going the route of past trauma can be as deep as that. And everyone has their kind of like journey to fully understand how to become their own leaders so they can eventually lead other people. And that's what I want to talk about today, like certain very common sales mindsets that is holding people back, and perhaps just sharing stories of how we overcame them ourselves, or even taught others to overcome them for themselves so they can lead other people.
Yeah, man. I love it. I love it. I got a story. Uh, Sorry, my my
Got
dog
a
was chewing on something. I had to make sure it was
got a story
her
about a
toy.
robbery.
No, no, no. I got a story about a lady I closed this week. Very along the pattern that we're talking about here. She got a lot of limiting beliefs, a lot of mindsets that were holding her back. She's tried other programs and she failed. She's living out of her truck. She's divorced. Her husband took their house. She had all the reasons in the world not to do this, and we were going to do our cheapest option, which is $297 a month, which is reserved for literally only people who don't have any resources or any means to get to the 3,500 7K or 10K package. And then I kind of introduced the VIP, and she wanted it. She's like, no, like I want that. And I was like, well, you're living out of your truck. Like, what kind of consultant would I be if I took $10,000 from you and you don't even have a house? And she kept pushing back and pushing back. She needs this. She needs this. Um, and then obviously there's some fear there. She's going to spend $10,000, and we spent like 2 hours on the phone together of me just coaching her, basically being a life coach. I didn't even do a Zoom. I didn't do a pitch. She barely knew what we did outside of the webinar, which gives a lot of information, but it's not like I gave her a pitch or a demo or anything like that. It was just a conversation between two humans, and I made her basically ask me to get in. And at the end of it, when it came time to put the 10K down, she got scared. She started giving some reasons, why she might not be able to do this. And I was like, yeah, that's totally fine, prospect. Why don't we do this? You just gave me a few reasons why you shouldn't do this. Why don't we go over a few reasons why you should, and then we'll decide which one's stronger. And I listed off. I was like, so you're living in your truck, correct? Yes. You have no income, correct? Yes. You want to buy a house so you can get your independence back, correct? Yes. Um, if you don't make a change, none of this is going to change, correct? Yes. Okay, so and I forget exactly how I phrased it, but I was like, those are four very strong reasons why you should make a change, right? Because if you don't get any closer to those goals. So you get to decide here and now whether making a change is more painful than staying where you are. And she's like, no, I need a change. Let's do this. And we filled the invoice out and she was in. And it was one of those very rare occasions. And I'm saying this because normally I wouldn't take $10,000 from somebody who's living in their truck, but she had like $50,000 on her credit card limit, not balance. Her credit card's completely paid off. She's got like a 50K limit on there. Right. And I made her
Man,
promise me that she has enough money in the bank that she can pay the minimum monthly installments for the first few months before she starts making it a profit with us. She said yes. I made her promise me she wasn't going to give up. I made her promise me she's going to come to all the coaching calls and she's going to do this like a full-time job. She checked all those boxes, and I was like, all right.
yeah.
And it was really eye-opening for me because a lot of people I talk to, they have the money, but they don't want to use it. She didn't have the money. She's got no job. She's living in her truck, and she needed a change so bad that she put $10,000 on a 28% APR credit card because she desperately needed something in her life. And I talk to people that have 20K in the bank that don't want to spend 3,500 of it. Right. I just wanted, I know the story was long-winded, but it's like, it's crazy you brought
Yeah.
up the mindsets and holding people back because it goes right up with it. But I'm gonna shut up now, bro.
I mean, that's exactly what I want to talk about, right? Like becoming that leader. And I think you in that position showed off like very good leadership skills, because there's nowhere in hell someone would have all of those steps that you mapped out just now in a script and then follow it word by word. But you're kind of like finding your own flexibility to go out of that script to really have like that genuine connection and then bring it back to the structure when it's needed or when it's time to like anchor whatever framework that you need.
Yeah,
Damn, that's powerful.
exactly, man. Frameworks are great. But when it comes to conversations like those, if I would have just taken her down a framework and, just tried to use questions that everybody uses on other people, she would have been like, no, fuck off. Right. And now we're to this point where she's texting me every single day and she's super excited. And it's just a really good, it's a really good back and forth. Right. So,
Yep, yep, yep. And that's on a Ubisoft offer. Was it Amazon or Shopify?
it's Amazon. So we do like Amazon arbitrage, kind of like,
Yeah.
for people that don't understand the business model, it's kind of like drop shipping. However, we do books, right? So we buy professional books, used. We send them to a prep center, which like brings the book up in condition, and we flip them for crazy profits. Like I'm talking minimum 50%. Some students are making 1, 2, 300% profits. Like they buy a book for $50 and they sell it for $150. Right? It is the most crazy business model that I've seen, that's like unknown. We're one of the only people doing it. And it's like we got all these businesses.
Yep, yep. It's comparing doing that online to doing that in a more physical basis, like in the real world. Well, it's technically a real world, both of them, but like face to face, is like going to an auction and then buying something there and then just fixing it and then reselling it to let's say, because I remember Ryan Cron, I read his story. Him and
Mm-hmm.
his brother, they're buying trucks that are a little bit broken, right? And then his brother knows the trucking space. So he goes in and fixes it up, like buys a lot of spare materials and just fixes it. And they're profiting 50 to 300% out of their initial purchase, which is crazy
Yeah, man, it's
from an auction buy.
it's it's
Yeah.
wild. And we got like um we've been in business for like 6.5 years, over 8,400 students, and it's super easy to speak with conviction because like what we do works, man. And
Yep.
well, like we got people that were Uber drivers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars. We got a guy who was in Africa, that our owners let join for free because he got enough money to come to the in-person event one year. And he's like, hey, I really love this. I don't have the money to join. And they let him join for free. He's made over $408,000 in 2 years.
And then you times that by 16 and you get that in their currency. So
Even if you do
he's
our minimum
yeah.
of 50% profit margin, that's $204,000. It's $102,000 per year profit in his pocket that he's made, right? It's just crazy. I don't want to keep
In a
going on about
third
it.
world country. Let's
Exactly.
not forget that, because he's
Exactly.
whatever you're making, that times 16 is their currency. So man, that's powerful. I wish that well, maybe I do wish, maybe I don't wish, but I've been in B2B, so I don't really have the live coaching, conversations as much. It's more of like data, it's more of, being burnt before. Yeah, it's a little bit of emotion to it. It's a little bit of live coaching, especially when you speak to small, medium-sized businesses. It's like the thing that I've been almost like I had to get clear with myself on is, leading people through like being burnt. This past relationship burnt me. It's like just dealing with that, like a past ex husband that, hurt them before and then they got to remarry. right? Like that's the conversations that I'm having, which is a little bit different, but I think it goes very, very similar in some shape or form, but with people with a little bit more business acumen. If
No,
that
I
makes sense, but am I
completely
just rambling?
no, I completely agree, man. And it's crazy what people will do when given an opportunity that truly want a change, right?
Yep, yep. If if we're going into, because we're speaking on the end of the entire process,
Hmm.
when a lot of these concerns are coming up. But I know one thing that you are very passionate about, which is getting to the core on the, like almost like the first point of contact, like even in setting calls, like viewing out like possible concerns in people, which is most likely reflections that come from us, if that makes sense. Like when I was a setter, I had a lot of blocks in terms of like time. And if someone would come with me with all of these problems and still be like, all right, so I don't have enough time. Let's book this in 2 and 3 weeks. Most of the times for me as a setter, very, very early on, I would, you know, not even almost like counter that and just go with, all right, so let's book it in 2 or 3 weeks. After they told me that they don't have a job, they have nothing to do, they don't have kids, they don't have a family, they have a vision, this big, big thing, but they still think to themselves, like, I don't have time. So, like, I guess, like, when I don't know where I'm going with this, man. I'm just,
No, man, no. I love to get a lot of the important stuff out on the first call because I don't want to waste their time. And let's be honest, I don't want my time wasted either. So there's no point in having an hour conversation with somebody who can't afford it, who's not ready to make a change, who isn't coachable, right? Isn't, just isn't what we're looking for. So I get all that out of the way on the first setting call. And I
yeah,
put together an awesome training on that. And a lot of people are telling me I shouldn't have given it away for free, but I watched a video or short from Alex Harmozy the other day, and he said the key to his success was he gave away so much stuff for free that was more valuable than these gurus charge for, that people were asking him for more. They were asking to pay him essentially. So I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna give shit away for free. I don't even care. Like I literally have people in my inbox who watched it that are like, dude, you pissed me off. You could be charging like three, four, $500 for this. And I was like, but I'm not.
yeah, dude.
Right.
If, even when I saw that video and I messaged you on Slack, I was like, bro, you're giving away too much sauce. And we were like, just fuck it. Let's just post it.
Nah, man, absolutely. Because I mean, people are going to remember that, right? And they're going to remember, especially if they use it and go make money, right? That's
Yep.
that's the big thing. And not everybody is at the skill level yet to where they can price drop on a setting call and basically let people know that if we book the second call, you're going to make a decision without saying you're going to make a decision. We come to a mutual agreement, right? So I
Yep.
had some people that were like saying that they're not confident or whatever it is. And I was like, yeah, some of the stuff I talked about is high level. So rep it before you do it live, because you don't want to be like on the call
Yeah.
and be like, within 3 seconds, someone's like, what's the price? $10,000. Right. So
And then you kind of like don't expect it. So you're getting, as a sales guy in that circle of, oh shit, you're kind of like spazzing around, like I don't know what to do. And that's the
yeah,
worst position to be in.
no, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And I make sure that it's something that they can take on or that they're resourceful enough to get done. Right. Like I literally, as we're on this video, I had a guy, he's texting us, and he was asking for the price. And I basically said, yo, we've got multiple packages here. Like, I can't tell you an exact price over text. I can tell you this: there will be two costs you can take on, the cost of trying something new or the cost of staying where you are. You get to decide which one will hurt more. He said, look, I wasn't born yesterday. I know what it means not to pull the trigger on something. There's a difference between being able to afford something, but being cheap about it, and not being able to afford something because one just does not have the type of money in that moment. Please, let's be adults here and just give me a roundabout what to expect in terms of pricing. And I said, being able to afford something and being resourceful enough to get it done are also different things here, buddy. If someone wants change bad enough, they'll make it happen. And then I sent him a handful of our results, and I said, if you want to discuss more, we can book an intro call.
Oof.
Right? Because at the end of the day, just because you don't have $10,000 in your bank account doesn't mean you can't be resourceful enough to get it done if you truly want change. That's the difference between a lot of people.
Yep.
They talk a big game until it comes time to actually make the change. Then they just stay. I call it the cocoon. They stay in the comfortable cocoon because it's warm and they're safe and they're in their own little circle and they don't have to feel any pressure. They don't have to feel any pain. They don't have to feel any fear. None of that. I'm looking for the ones that want to break out of the cocoon and fly into the unknown, come out a different person, evolve, and get into the unknown. It's going to be scary, but I guarantee it's going to be better than staying in this same cocoon your whole life. Right. And some people, they're just not ready for that. And my job is to facilitate a change for those who are ready, not force people who aren't ready. Right. There's a lot of closers out there who try and hard close everybody and think everybody needs to change. And if I take, 40 closing calls in a week, I'm going to pitch all 40 because I can hard close some of them. And it's like, nah, dude, fuck that. I've got a really high disqualification rate because if someone's not ready, they're not ready. Right. And obviously we can do some reframing. And we can help facilitate that decision. But if at the end of the call, they're just like, no, and it's like, okay, later.
Yeah.
Not ready.
There's been times as well as, once, because you can, be on a 90-minute call and reframe after reframe after reframe. But if that is more of like motivation on the call than just inspiration for someone to do it, then it's going to last kind of like wear off on the long term. Being in the program and that motivation will just wear off. The results won't show either way. Either just drop off, ghost you, or just go to their own old cocoon or whatever you want to call it, old habits, and just continue living their life without doing this because we, force them too much information too soon.
Exactly, man. Exactly. And that analogy works wonders on people. Because it's at the end of the day, it's true, right? Like you can stay in the cocoon that you've been in your whole life. And you just told me like the lady I was talking about earlier, she had been looking and trying for like 5 years. I was like, you can stay where you are for another 5 years. You're 60, you'll be 65, right? You can be chilling. No one's going to make you make a change, right?
Yep.
Or you can try and break out of the cocoon. Right. I'm not guaranteeing you that you're going to soar and fly and not get eaten by a bird or whatever it may be outside of the cocoon, but you got a better shot of success than staying in the cocoon. And some people just don't realize that, man.
Yep. That's why because I've told you this before with some calls that I've had when people are feeling burnt out. I'm giving them binary options, just like you're doing. You can either stay there or just go ahead and do it, but at least know that you've at the end of the day have tried to do it, which is
exactly
pretty much what you're referring to.
Exactly, man. There's another way to put it as well. I tell people, right, you can after I use that analogy, I'm like, yeah, so you get to decide if you want to go to bed tonight a different person than you woke up, or if you want to go to bed the same person that you woke up and wake up tomorrow the same person that you woke up and wake up the next day the same person. Right? It all starts with you. Right? If you want change, make a change. If you don't want change, then that's fine, man. You can go to bed the same person you were today, yesterday, last week, last month, last year, and you can stay where you are. No one's going to make you to do anything, right? And that's that pulling away, that's the pushing on them, right? Because if you push them away and they don't fight back, they're not going to close anyways. Let them go.
Yep.
Like this guy I'm getting ready to talk to. He's been in my pipeline for 6 weeks. He's been waiting for a refund from a different company. He finally got it. And now all of a sudden, after he's told me like 6 different phone calls that as soon as he gets the refund, he's all in. He wants to discuss the costs and different programs and this and that and this and that and this and that. And I'm going to get on the call and basically be like, listen, man, we've been talking for 6 weeks. This is the last call I'm going to have. I'm going to address anything you need to hear, any concerns, any questions you have to make this a hell yes or a hell no. And that's it.
Yep.
Right. Like it's time to come to a decision. It's been 6 weeks. You said you were in. And I'm basically going to pull way out. I'm going to ask him to tell me about the other programs he's seen. And depending on how excited he is, I'm going to say, then go with them.
Yep. Now that's a final mindset, man. Mic drop, unattached to the result, which takes long for series to know, long for the closers to know, because especially when we're working commission based, there is, well, I mean, we're pretty much like getting paid for facilitating a decision, but when
Yeah.
someone is new, like the mindset is that the money is connected to the sale, which is how a lot of people think, and that creates that creates a shift in our behavior, right? I mean, that's probably where the hall closing culture came in the first place. Like, just hall closing everybody, everybody that is even remotely interested, gonna close them because they've showed interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where the culture comes in.
Yeah. Just because somebody booked a call doesn't mean that they're going to close. Right. I was on
Yep.
an offer that basically said, well, if they booked a call, that means that they want change and that there's something at them. And, you can close everybody that books a call. And it's like, it's just not true, man. It's not true at all. Right. Some people book a call with no intentions of even showing up. Right. Some people book a call with no intentions of even doing anything, especially when these marketing teams put it as a free strategy session.
Oh, I
Fucking
hate
that,
that.
bro.
Oh
Free
man.
strategy session,
With the
right?
sales guy that don't even know the program in depth
Yeah.
to how a coach is.
So annoying, bro.
I mean, that was pretty much half of my career. People paying for a free strategy session, but then I come on and I pretty much, well, I knew marketing at the time, but as a sales person and just coming from that perspective, it was not efficient in time.
Mm-hmm.
And then the qualification process, and I moved up. That's when I was chilling. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's a pretty big mindset shift for a lot of people, like being just unattached to result. Like
Yeah, man. Because I mean,
that's
I've spent
that's
like 2.5 hours with this guy where he's all in, ready to go, this and that, this and that, da, 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 after I handled a bunch of his like fears and stuff. And now he's like, well, I need this addressed and this and this and this. So I'm going to be like, listen, dude, I'll address anything you need, any concerns, any questions, anything you have. But this is it, right? Like, we're going to come to a hell yes or a hell no today. And if that's with us, if that's with somebody else, so be it. Right. And like I said, my plan is to lean all the way out. I'm going to tell him to go somewhere else. But yeah, you're right, dude. Maybe this isn't a good fit. Right. If you're looking for the cheapest option, I can promise you we're not that. If you're looking for results, we can have that conversation. Right. Because, yeah. And he invested like $9,500 into this lead gen business that he hated and he got no results in.
like
And
his own, like lead gen for his own business, or
so I forget
is like,
exactly how he put it, but basically, yeah, he was like starting a lead gen business and he had to cold call business owners like to get them on board, and he hated that. So I don't know, man. I'll see what I can make of it. Either I'm going to close him or I'm going to push him away.
I mean, like the fact that you guys are even like in conversation after 6 weeks and he's been requesting a refund from the other program that he invested in to just speak with you again is like, I think you're gonna close him, but
Yeah, I mean,
I
I'm gonna do my
mean,
best. I mean, I'm not gonna
we're gonna show up helpful. I mean, that's the least.
exactly. I'm gonna try and answer any questions he have. I'm gonna address any concerns that he has, and then I'm gonna ask him what other programs he's seen, and then I'm gonna be like, yeah, you know what? Maybe you're right. I think they're a better fit for you. Right? Or something like that. Yeah, I mean, maybe you're right. I don't
Maybe
know.
you're right.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't
man.
know.
With
But yeah, man. This has been great, dude. I love just getting on here and rambling, talking mindsets, philosophies, stories. It's we got to do one of these every once in a while. They're fun to get on here.
Yeah, I think we should set like a well, we figured that out a bit behind the scenes. But yeah, it's been a good episode, just sitting here chatting what's been happening the weeks. But yeah, that's it for
Absolutely.
episode 17, and we'll see you in the next one.